Have you ever thought, what am I thinking? Best question you could ask. Marianne Williamson guides you on a daily spiritual journey that starts with your mind. Time to get your miracle thought for the day.
Hi, I'm Marianne Williamson, and this is today's miracle thought. I choose to see all things in light. Try that on a post-it. I choose to see all things in light. Let me tell you what I mean. There have been situations in my life that I have looked back on in retrospect and realized that I didn't appreciate them fully. I didn't recognize what I had, and therefore I didn't stand within the situation in as high a way as I might have. I was not as grateful as I might have been, and or I might not have shown my gratitude, expressed my gratitude as much as I might have. I was not as reflective as I might have been. I was not as emotionally and psychologically sober as I might have been. I did not make an effort to be better than I was the day before. There were so many ways in which I see situations that came into my life that I attracted spiritually, but which on an emotional and psychological level I didn't meet as I might have. I was not emotionally and psychologically prepared to live things which spiritually I had attracted into my life. I notice sometimes I'll be interviewed or something and someone will say to me, well, Marianne, what's next for you? And you know, it's a common thing we do in our society. What do you want to have happen next? Well, two things about that we want to be on the lookout for. First of all, anytime we're thinking about what happened in the past or what might happen in the future, it's a trick of the ego to take us out of the present. In the present, we have the capacity to both transform the past and make the future right in all ways. In A Course in Miracles, it says, I place the future in the hands of God. But if in the present, we're thinking in terms of all the good things we'd like to have happen next, well, you know, Greg, I sold 10 books, but I'd like to sell 50 books. It's a kind of funky thing. But actually what you're saying is that the 10 books I'm selling now is not enough. And so whenever we're doing that, whenever we're trying to make things better all the time, we have to be very careful not to be denigrating what is occurring right now. What are the ways in which you might live within your current circumstances in a more beautiful way? I was noticing I was going out to dinner with someone, and this is where you really see the rubber meets the road. It's little things we do in life. So in this particular situation I was looking at, I was going out to dinner with someone, but I wasn't really planning to dress up nice. I wasn't really thinking of it as some really cool thing to do. I mean, it was going to dinner with someone I liked, but that's all it was going with a friend to dinner. And I looked at that in light of everything we're talking about here, realizing, Marianne, there's nothing inherent in this situation which isn't lovely. But you're living it, you're holding it in your thinking, you're sort of embracing it in a kind of, well, whatever kind of way. And I changed my mind. I just changed my mind, and I realized, you know, I had these judgments on, well, a really exciting dinner would be with so-and-so going such and such a place. No, if you look at it in light, you go, if it's what's happening, it is as light-filled and as high level as I make it to be in my thinking. And so I changed my mind. That's how you change your life, you change your mind. I said, okay, I'm going out to dinner. Make it the big deal that it can be. It's not inherently a big deal or not a big deal. And so I looked through my closet and I just was far more attuned on what I was going to wear, which sounds like a little thing, but it's not a little thing because it's how you show up for the universe. And I just started holding in my mind that, wow, this is exciting. I'm going out to dinner. And very interesting things happened. First of all, I got a phone call about 30 minutes later, which I do not think was unconnected, asking me to go somewhere which was different than where I was going for dinner, but I told this person, you know, I could meet you after, and then that turned into something that was a really great contact for something. Also, I saw people at the dinner with whom I interacted in a way that was not along the same energy lines. And I knew that my entire experience that evening was not about who I was with or where I went. It was about the fact that earlier in the day I had changed my mind. And I had decided that it was fabulous. It was as fabulous as I held it to be. You know, one of the things we talk about here often is the idea of Cinderella's fairy godmother. And how she put her wand on the pumpkin and it turned into a coat. She put her wand on the mice and they turned into footmen. She put her wand on a dress of rags and it turned into a beautiful ball gown. Your magic wand is your focused consciousness. And all that light that comes out of that magic wand is the light of pure understanding. That is how the Course in Miracles defines light, as understanding. And what we all need to understand is A situation is as light or as dark as we pretty much decide it will be. If you go around looking at your life, it's just not good enough. I wish I was with different people. I wish I was doing different things. I wish I had a different place to live. I wish I had a different job. All this stuff that's nothing more than an activity of the mind. If you think your place where you live isn't good enough, it's not about where you live. It's about how your mind looks at where you live. If you think your job isn't good enough, it's not about the job. It's about how your mind is interpreting your job. Every single situation in your life, unless and until you can look at it and say, I'm living this the best I can. I'm in my greatest excellence. I'm in my greatest compassion. When you have lifted whatever situation you're in to the highest it can go, based on your own participation in the situation, then if in fact it's not the best situation for you, those circumstances will drop of their own accord, and you will be delivered to the next person or the next job or the next house or whatever. The point is, take what you have right now and see it in the light. Place light all around it. The Holy Spirit lives within you. That's who that fairy godmother is. Take that magic wand. Put light around it. And that means realize it's whatever you want it to be. Show up. When you fully show up for life, the most amazing thing happens. Life fully shows up for you. You're listening to Marianne Williamson. This has been your Miracle Thought.